nowadays, nobody want to get punched in the mouth no more. That's why I call it ring the chamber of truth, because it's you versus some other man. I've been a fighter my whole life. Even though I didn't like fighting, I just had to fight. That's where the real success comes from. You deep into the dark, and it's just you just trying to figure out what's next in life. Walk through hell with a smile on your face.
What does it feel walking through that hell as a fighter? I really want to talk about how men are getting weaker and what can we do to make them feel stronger, because life is hard and you're not going to get anything worthwhile if you think that it's going to come easy to you.
Men are getting soft. They can't take a punch in the face no more without suing. I remember when I was younger, if I got into a fight, I go home crying. My pop's like, yo, get your ass back outside and go fight them. Don't come back until you win. We don't have it no more. They coddle kids these days, and people don't know how to take rejection. They don't know how to accept rejection. They just don't. They don't know how to fail. The people need to understand that failing is the key to life. Failing is the only way you're gonna ever succeed, and people don't know how to handle that because they live in a world where everything just look good. They live in a social media world where everybody fake it till they make it. Fake it till they make it. It's just you gotta grind it out. The real success come from the shadows.
If you were like 14, 15,
Mm-hmm.
and I met you and I was like 14, 15, and I'll be like, yo, Mac, like everything's hard, man. Like I want to do this and I want to get into sports, but like, I, I don't know. What would you tell me?
I don't know what it is. I was blessed with just do it attitude. I was like, up, if I fail, I will. So if I was 14, 15, I'm like, look, let's just see what happens. Let's just go audition for this. Let's just go try for the team. Let's just see. Nothing else could go wrong. There's only two choices, yes or no, right or wrong, so you gotta let's just go show up. Let's go see what happens. That's what I would tell my 15-year-old friend. All right, let's do it. Let's see what happens. That's the attitude I have.
Yeah. I think right now people are just afraid and they want it too fast is the other thing that I've realized. For me, like working in film, I I feel like I have all of this potential and I could do great, right?
Mm-hmm.
23, 24, and I'm not a millionaire yet.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm 28, 29, 30, and I still feel like if it was going to happen, it needed to happen right now, and I wanted everything right now. Then I remember watching an interview of another big time producer, and he was like in his 50s. So then I watched this guy saying, I have 40 movies that I'm trying to get made, and I haven't been able to get them made for 20 years, but I'm still working at it. And I feel like young kids right now, they're 21, 22, and they send me messages like, oh, I want my business to do this amount of money, or I want to get this many followers or this many views, but they have only done 2 or 3 reps. They have only asked 2 or 3 people. Tell me a little bit about the importance of like the show up, the go get it and like try to get it done even when you're failing.
Like I said, 80% of success is just showing up. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to be a master of the art you're trying to accomplish, what you're trying to do. You just got to figure it out on the job. I'm the type of guy that learn on the job. I'm the type of guy that learn getting thrown to the fire. Sink or swim. That's the way you have to go, because you're not going to know everything. You need to understand that this world is not perfect. And in order for you to just be successful, in order for you to just get to the next level, just take one step at a time. One step at a time. Learn how to succeed with a smile on your face walking through hell. That's the way I just learn it. Just figure it out, man. Like, figure it out. My favorite book, Marie Forleo, Everything is Figure Outable. In life, no matter what it is, everything is figure outable. Because you could be whatever. If you got these levels you need to get to, you don't know how to get there, just figure it out.
Yeah.
This is life. Nobody came with a freaking manual. Nobody know what they're doing. Somebody figured it out. So that's what you got to do. Figure it out.
Well, I love that phrase that you say, that success is being able to do it with a smile on your face while you're walking through hell.
100%.
So tell me a little bit about what does it feel walking through that hell as a fighter?
In order to get good at fighting, you have to get in a ring and spar somebody who's 10 times better than you. That's the only way you're going to learn. If you get in there and spar somebody that you know you're better than and you just beating them up, you're not learning anything. Like what I tell my fighters, they'll do something good in the ring. They're like, "Coach, you saw that, man? I did this, I did that." I'm like, "Look, it's not my job to tell you what you did right. It's my job to tell you what you did wrong. Have somebody around you who's gonna continue to make you get better. Somebody who's gonna help you just take it to the next level because it's so easy to be complacent. It's so easy, like, oh, I got it. I did it. No. What are you gonna do to get to the next level? What are you gonna do to get better every single time? Because if you don't have it, you see the gym, you see all this stuff. In my mind, I still think I did not make it. I didn't make it at all. And so I'm like, I got things I gotta do.
Mhm.
So that's how I look at it. That's how I think of it.
Yeah. I remember my second or third time that I was training craft with my friend Reginald. He took me to the gym and he had me do all this like drills and like combinations, push-ups and jumping jacks and abs. And there was a moment, Mac, that I felt like my soul was leaving my body and I was like almost unconscious and I kept like doing what he was telling me to do, but I was out of it. So, what are some things that you do with your fighters to get them to that point of complete exhaustion, just to push them to that, to make them feel uncomfortable with that?
I don't even know how to answer it because this is boxing. I push them everything we do, we push it. I do everything I train them on is fight pace. I make them think like, look, when we train as if they in the middle of a fight. Say for instance, when they're on the bag, I make them do burpees, make them do push-ups. And then if we doing mitts, we working with each other, you get rewarded with push-ups, you get penalty with bare burpees. Like, oh, you got the combination down. Give me 100 push-ups. Oh, you messed up. Give me 100 burpees. Like you, no matter what, I'm exaggerating with the 100, but I make them do like we'll do burpees, push-ups. Like, all right, you got the combination right, 10 push-ups. But if you mess up, make them do burpees. You know what I'm saying? So in the whole round, we just going nonstop. Oh, sprints in between. Everything we do is fight pace, fight pace, fight pace. And I just push them into exhausted because at the end of the day, you in a ring by yourself. No one is going to push you but you. That's what boxing is so incredible because it's you versus some other man. Your will versus somebody else's will. Your heart versus somebody else's heart. Your skills versus somebody else's skills. That's why I call that ring the chamber of truth because it would tell the truth. It's you versus somebody else. It'll tell the truth who ate all the right foods. It'll tell the truth who ran longer. It's just not when you're working with your coach, you doing what the coach telling you to do. It's what you do outside the gym is what's gonna help you become successful. So yeah.
When a fighter is coming in and they're starting, how do you feel about their natural like talent and ability versus what you could build out of them with time?
First, I tell people boxing, you can't play boxing. So I want to make sure they have it. I want to make sure they want it more than I want it. Because if the coach wanted more than a fighter, they shouldn't be boxing. So for one, I let them know that look, you could play boxing, you could do a boxing fitness class, you could learn the art of boxing and just do it just for conditioning, for self defense. But if you want to come to my gym and learn how to box, you say you want to be a fighter, it's work you got to do. You can't play it. You can't have one foot in, one foot out because you're not going to do nothing or get hurt. 13, 14 boxers die a year. Some boxers in a coma because I don't know, they taking punishment. So this is a tough sport. This is the hurt business. And so if it's somebody coming in wanting to box, and they're not serious, I won't train them. Or I let them know, like if they come in, they're hungry and they're disciplined, they do what they want to do, I will give them my energy. I will give them my time. And we'll take it slow and then we'll gradually I will slowly break them down with the basics of boxing. And then we just slowly just build it up. And then I will see how far I can take that fighter. But if he's one halfway in, halfway out, that's when I'm like, okay, this guy don't have it. I'm not dealing with him. Go to the boxing fitness class. I'm not gonna work with you because you're not gonna waste my time because it happens.
That's
It's
very
tough because this is a very tough sport.
It starts with them being a fighter
Mhm,
before they can actually like
mhm,
become a fighter. They have to decide,
mhm.
okay, this is who I am. And if you don't make that decision, like the other stuff are not it's not gonna happen because you haven't decided that this is who you are. That's very interesting.
Mike Tyson, what he the greatest quote in history. Everybody got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. That's what life is about. Everyone, they say they want to own their own business. They say they want to work at this one job, but then when things get tough, they give up. They want to quit. No, that's where the real success come from, when you deep into the shadows, when you deep into the dark, when it's just you just trying to figure out what's next in life, and you're like, "I don't know if I can do this. I don't wanna do this," and you got a choice. You can either quit, go do something easy, or you could choose your hard. That's what life is about. Choosing your hard. Not going after your dreams is hard. Going after your dreams is hard. Not getting in the best shape is hard. Getting in the best shape is hard. You just gotta choose your hard.
I had a little bit of that happen in my life late in my 20s, where I was like always the nerd kid. I was into computers, cameras, editing, like photography, art, and I was like really weak. And after college, it's when I started like learning a little bit more about fitness and trying it out. But I think it was around the time where I had my son that I decided, okay, I'm not gonna be weak anymore. And I had to make a decision. And that really helped me because after I made that decision, then it wasn't so much about the thing that I had to do, it was about who I was. So I decided, okay, I'm fit, I'm strong. Like this is the type of person that I am. And this is something that I'm really passionate and I really want young men to hear this idea that the moment you decide that you are going to be strong, then everything else becomes easier. I mean, it's still hard, but I think it's easier once you have made that decision that this is who I am, this is my identity, this is what I do. So the same way you're a fighter, you just fight. Once you decide, okay, I'm strong, I'm going to become strong, this is what I do. Tell me a little bit about what you have seen in the last decade
Okay.
in men in general, in
Okay.
terms of like strength and physical fitness. How is it different back then from now? Because I really want people to focus on the next 10 years. What can we do to become stronger? And as men, to make sure that we keep society thinking, hey, big, strong man is something good to have, it's something good to be.
No, man, masculinity was key back 10, 15 years ago. Like, it used to be the thing to do to be a man, to be the breadwinner, to make sure that family and wife had to want for nothing. Make sure that it's okay to be tough. It's okay to get punched in the mouth every now and then. It's okay to get cursed out or, get into a fight. Instead of going to get the guns and stuff like that, these kids these days, people these days, it's easy to go get a gun. Nobody just want to fight no more. Put the guns down, put on the gloves, come to the gym, come get some work, fight it out. These days, nobody want to get punched in the mouth no more, man. So I say, man, I think, me personally, I think they should get rid of guns. Like, they made it too easy in Texas to get guns. I think they should just make people fight. Back in the day, you had to fight back in the day. I grew up in Pleasant Grove. I fought. We fought people with guns and stuff like that was involved, but we used to fight, man. I think they should just, like, you know what? You got an issue with somebody, it shouldn't be illegal to punch somebody in the mouth unless you're just bullying somebody. I'll take that. Please don't take this the wrong way. Don't just go around picking on people and nothing like that. But if you got an issue, duke it out besides going to get a gun just because it's easy access. Just think, it's two lives going, you'll be taken.
Yeah.
You got to lose your life, and people are soft. And so 10 more years, and they need to make the gun laws a little bit more stricter and make people fight, man. Duke it out. You got an issue, come to the gym. I got a gym for you right here.
Right. Yeah.
Come duke it out. You know what I'm saying? Sign a waiver first, and then we can work.
I grew up in Cuba, so for us, when you have trouble with someone at school, it was like, okay, I'll see you at 4:20, and at 4:20 the bell will ring, and everyone would be let out of school, and every other week or so, you would see a little group of people come
Mhm.
to a side, and if you and I had issues, it's like, okay, I'll see you at 4:20, and then we will go outside of school. The teachers would even like see us and let us do it. And then for like 5, 10 minutes, you would fight.
I got another one on that one because back in the day, when I was 7 years old, 8 years old, teachers used to have paddles. So if a kid get in trouble, he used to get hit with a paddle back in the day. Oh Lord, you do that now, teachers going to prison. Like, literally, my pop signed the permission, like, look, whoop my kid ass. Like, literally, Miss Ruby. I never forget Miss Ruby. I got in trouble. She pulled her paddle out. Boom. Turned out okay. I, t- I turned out decent. This is a true story. Back in the day,
Yeah.
teachers had paddles. In these days, man, that's why the kids so soft. You can't even say nothing to kids. You can't even whoop your kid's ass no more. I'm not saying whoop your kid. I gotta be political correct now
Yeah.
because people are soft. Whoop your kid's ass. They need to get their ass
Yeah.
whooped.
No.
You know, man. You know that's the way my pops would punch me. If I
Yeah.
be crying, getting in trouble at school, he hit me in the chest like, look, you gonna say yes, sir. You gonna say no, sir. You gonna look that person in their eyes.
Yeah.
You gonna shake that man's hand the right way. Don't look down when you talk to somebody. Look them in the eyes.
Yeah.
They don't have that no more. My aunt said I used to go to sleep in church. I get a pinch. He'll pinch the crap out of me. Wake up. Smack me back of the head. But they loved me. There wasn't no, I'm going to call CPS. There's no, I'm going to call the police if you get a whooping. See, man, these kids these days, man, they got too much access to so much stuff. And it's just getting soft. And I feel sorry for the generation, man. But I'm getting in trouble about one. I haven't been blessed with a kid yet. So, but I'm a raised, like my father raised me by himself, a single man. He raised me how to be a man. And once the Lord blessed me with a kid, I'm going to raise my son, my daughter, how to be a great person.
Mm-hmm.
How to have respect, install respect in them, install the fear of God into them, you know, and just that's what we missing these days, man. We missing the fear of God. That's what I really think.
Yeah.
All jokes aside, we missing the fear of God of fitting these kids.
What did you learn from your dad?
My pops wasn't the greatest role model. You know, he was a single man. He lived his best life down the streets, do whatever. But one thing I did learn about him is that no matter what, he took care of me. Most of the time, I never knew what he did for dope, but he'd send me back to school in a new wardrobe. Kanye West, same thing. But he always made sure I never went without. Even when he was out doing his thing, he made sure his sisters. I was with his sisters. He made sure that his sister took care of me. He made sure he taught me how to be a man. He made sure that I just never wanted for anything. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You know, I grew up in Pleasant Grove. I want to say we was rich, but we wasn't poor. My pops, we wasn't poor. My pops was a hustler. He figured out a hustle. He had a janitorial business. He had a clothing business. I remember he had me out on the streets when I was 10 years old, selling tapes and incense, like the smelling incense, hustling. And so I took his hustling ways and turned into this business, into my ways. So I took it and flipped it in different ways. But my pops, he always taught me how to go get it, no matter what. He taught me respect. He taught me how to shake a man's hands. He taught me how to say yes or no, sir. If you're younger than me, older than me, it's all about respect. And one thing I learned from another one of my mentors, he said, two ways to win in life. Give God something to work with, give people something to respect. And I took that and ran with it.
How did your dad feel when you went into fighting and boxing? And
He didn't understand it because I was 20 years old when I first boxed. I was not an athlete. I sucked at football. I was the starting ass back. Like, yo, what is an ass back? Yo, coach, let me in. Boy, get your ass back. He'll get me back, and I'll just play. But nah, man. People thought I wasn't gonna because I wasn't a good athlete. I sucked at football, sucked at basketball. But when I found boxing, boxing found me. And at the age of 20, I needed discipline. I needed structure. I knew I wasn't gonna go nowhere in life. I was like, I could be working. I'll be working here, working there. I literally had no other direction. And I knew something deep down inside of me wanted to have greatness. But when I told my pops, like, boy, he was joking when he said it. I don't know. He said, boy, you can get your ass knocked out boxing at 20. Most people start when they was 8, 9. I'm like, all right, watch this. And so I just kept winning. My first fight, I remember I got my ass whooped. And that's the first time I actually cursed in front of my pops. I was like, pops, man, dang, I got my ass whooped. He was like, yeah, yes, son, you got your ass whooped. But he was like, I'm proud of you, though. He's like, yo, you actually fought hard. And then I just kept showing back up, man. And rest is history.
how do you think people can get over that fear of that initial fight, or like even in the street? Because I'm trying to take everything from your story and almost apply it to like anyone, because not everyone is getting in the ring, but
Mhm,
people are out in the streets.
mhm.
How do you get over that fear of like confrontation and just like standing your ground and
Man,
like,
it's tough to just get over it. It's not easy. You got to be fed up. You got to be tired of getting pushed over. You got to be tired of getting picked on. You got to be something deep within you. Got to say enough's enough. You got to protect yourself. Like you can't just let people run over you. It got to be a moment in your life when you're gonna either sink or swim. It's got to be a moment in your life. You're like, you know what? Oh well. Let's see what happens. Let's just work. Let's work. Let's get it. Let's get this work. Let's fight. I don't know. Some people not born with it. Some people born with it. Some people have to go through some things in life. Like me, I became a great fighter because I went through things in life. Like I used to get bullied when I was living in Pleasant Grove. Just think of me, I'm a happy-go-lucky kid. I'm a God, I don't like confrontation. I don't like fighting. But man, in Pleasant Grove, I had to fight every day. Like it was like in order to survive, I had to join gangs. That's what we did, Pleasant Grove. We just fought. We just fought. Friends getting murdered, things that I was scared going to school. But in order for me to survive, I had to join certain gangs and stuff like that to get protected when I went to Samuel High School. But then I'm just tired of I used to not want to fight, man. I used to not wanting to fight because I was just who I wasn't. But I don't know, man. The discipline in boxing, I was just fed up. I think I just built it. It was just all built in, and I just became champion with all that pain and anger. My mom, she was around, but she wasn't around much. I love my mom. She's a great woman, but she wasn't around. I felt left out. I felt left behind so much. I just felt so much pain and anger within me, struggling in school because I didn't learn. I wasn't learning the right way. I couldn't understand the school ways. I was just struggling when it came to school. I was struggling in life. I didn't know what direction I was going. So I was just fed up. And I think that what made me a great fighter. I took all that pain from a kid all the way up through high school. And I just took all that pain. And then when it was time for me when I learned boxing, it helped me channel that discipline. It helped me channel that anger, that pain, and it taught me how to be disciplined, be dedicated. The dedication I need. I needed something to put me on a path, a structure. And boxing did that. And I didn't know I could take a punch in the mouth till I was 20. I didn't know. I didn't know. And then when I realized that, I got this in me, I became a champion. I'd say, you know what? I'm about to become a world champion or die trying. And I did just that. I was forced into retirement. I was about to fight for a world title. I was forced into retirement due to the detached retina because I was willing to die trying because I've been a fighter my whole life. Even though I didn't like fighting, I just had to fight. Either you born with it or either you fed up. You just can't wake up and just everybody or a baby is born, they have a gracious heart. Everybody's born with a gracious heart. Everybody born with love. But something in life have to turn you into a monster. And life turned me into a monster, but thank God I didn't go the opposite way because I could have been in the streets. And the more I think about it now, thank God I didn't find boxing when I was in Pleasant Grove because once people knew I was boxing, I could have been somebody was like, all right, TMack boxing now. We got, I would have been in more fights or I would have been a target. Or they were like, yo, hire for security. Like, say if there's a couple of my boxing friends that got murdered, start being security for different gangs and stuff like that. Shot in the head. You know what I'm saying? So God has a plan for everything. It was a reason for me to find boxing at 20 years old. So I could do what I'm doing now.
Tell me a little bit about that process of taking the pain into the fuel, and if you have a story or something where it can become real for people. Because I had somewhat similar experiences of taking pain of things that were happening in my life and turning that into that drive.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of hard to, you almost have to live through it to understand what that means. And I think it comes down to decisions. Is there any moment in your story of your life where you could have made this decision or this decision, and then you took the one that eventually helped you?
Man, my life has been that every aching moment has been a choice I had to make. I could have went this way. I could have went that way. Say for instance, I'm gonna try to make this story short as possible. So say for instance, growing up in Dallas, Pleasant Grove, DISD. I'll keep going back to school because they put me in special education. They told me I could learn. I failed first grade 3 times. I had to move to Chicago, get put back in 5th grade, the right grade. Then when I moved back to Dallas, I failed 7th grade, and I had to move back to Chicago because I failed. And I went back to 8th grade, and then I moved back to Dallas in 9th grade. I ended up failing 9th grade again. And so and then when I moved to 9th grade, when I got in high school in Pleasant Grove, I started hanging around the wrong crowd, started skipping school. And so I was mentally so far behind. I had an opportunity to move to Plano. My aunt moved from Chicago to Plano, Texas. And deep down inside, I knew I was either going to end up dead like some of my friends. I was going to go to prison like some of my friends. I just knew, man, that's not who I was. I wasn't that type of guy. And so I begged my aunt, like, look, let me move to Plano with you. And Plano changed my life. And like I had a choice. I could have either stayed in Pleasant Grove, ran the streets, lived that life. Nobody forced me to move to Plano, but I begged my aunt if I could move to Plano. And I ended up getting around the right environment. And so I got around kids. I went to West Plano where kids was living in mansions, getting BMWs for their birthday and stuff like that. I was like, man, this the life I want. I kind of had like a Fresh Prince of Bel Air type of story. And my father still lives in Pleasant Grove to this day. But I was like, man, I don't want to. I don't want that life, man. I don't want to. I don't want to do the bare minimum. And so I decided, I was like, look, I'm gonna choose this life in Plano. And man, like when I got there in Plano, man, Plano ended up. I got around kids that was wanting to learn. I got around kids that didn't skip school. And Plano ended up catching me back up to my right grade. I ended up graduating, ended up being the first black senior class president at Plano West High School, ended up being the first black homecoming king at Plano West High School, from going through metal detectors every day, having to worry about fighting every day to happen off-campus lunch for an hour, with all the freedom in the world every day at Plano West. Going to my friend's house in mansions. Their parents have platters is laid out for them. It's just getting picked up in BMWs, and it was like, it's like I manifested that because I made a choice. And then once I graduated, I could either move back with my pops in Pleasant Grove. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna figure out a way to live this lifestyle. I'm gonna maintain this lifestyle. And so I grinded it out. I'm not gonna do normal. I'm not gonna seek mediocrity. Become successful or die trying. And so that's choices. Choices. I could have got punched in the mouth when I first started boxing at 20 years old. Nobody forced me to box. I just kept showing back up until I got good. Started business and opened up TMack Elite Training. I had no idea what I was doing, but God put the right people in my life to teach me those ways, to teach me what to do, and He aligned the right people to help me get to where I need to be. And I was like, man, and it got tough. It was a time when I wasn't making a dime. I just kept showing up. I didn't quit. I had a choice. Should I just go get a job, or should I grind it out? Should I thug it out? Should I keep pushing?
Yeah.
I just kept pushing. And look what we're doing now. Look, it's life is fun. I mean, God just putting so many people in my life, so many things in my life, so many opportunities in my life. It's amazing. It's a blessing.
You mentioned money, and I think it would be a good segue to go into that topic, because I think one of the most important things that we need to focus on is making money. And I grew up in the church too. And when I grew up, making money and focusing on money was bad, was evil. And then when I came to America, I learned the American way and I realized, okay, just money's just a tool. And like you said, you can decide to change your circumstances, change who you are, and work hard to get something that you want for your life. Let's talk a little bit about how you took that fighter mindset from the sport and brought it into business. And on the day to day, how are you being a fighter, but now in the business world?
I found mentors, man. I found people that was 10 times stronger than me, 10 times more successful than me, 10 times richer than me, and I mimicked them. I asked questions. I figured out a way how they did business. As a fighter, man, I was broke. You don't get paid until you box, until you have an actual fight. So I was doing personal training and stuff on the side. But one of my mentors always, Nathan Pipitone, shout out to him. He always say, man, Tony, think about what's next. Think about what's next. You can't do this forever. I was forced into retirement with detached retina. And so I had to think about what's next immediately because I'm thinking I was going to, what I'm doing now, I'm thinking I was going to retire around this time now and try to open up a gym. But that was 10 years ago, almost. I asked questions. I got around those people. They showed me the steps by steps how to be successful, and I followed them. I do my business by godly principles. I try my best to outgive God, and that's a game you're always gonna lose. I try to outgive God, and I lose every time. So I try my best. I do, and I try my best. Every dime I get, I give my 10% to God. I sow into other people. The law of life is reaping what you sow. And if you sow some good thing will happen. So I try my best to sow as many good seeds as possible. The outcome has been amazing. I mean, God has blessed me with so many opportunities. So with business, I try to sow into people. I try to sow every dime I get, I put it back into the business. I put it back into people. I give to the church. I give to organizations, and I don't have no key to wealth. I don't have the straight direction how to get to where you want to be. All I know what I did is I trust God. I literally put my energy and everything into the biblical principles. And that's why I believe I'm having the success I'm having right now. I mean, opportunities is endless because I keep sowing the right seeds. That's my take on money. That's all I got. That's all I know. Save your money, because one day money gonna save you. Savings is what I do. I don't know how much I get. I put 10% to God, put a certain percent to vacation fund, certain percent to emergency funds, certain percent to retirement, and then I live off the rest. You know, I live off what probably 70, 60% of my income. No matter what it is, I allocate my money so I can always be protected. But give your money to God first, man. Just people could say it's some people don't have to believe it. That's how I do it, and it works because that's something bigger than life out there than what we're doing right now. Because we're going to be spending a lot more time on the other side of eternity than we are on this side. So I believe that something big out there is going to happen once we leave this earth, and I just want to be prepared for it. I want to build my saving accounts in heaven when I'm done. And that's what I'm building it for. I want God to be like, look, Tony, you did what you're supposed to do. I'm not perfect. People don't look at me like I'm perfect, but I know I do the best I can. That's my money principles.
Yeah.
That's how I do money.
For me, I disagree a little bit with
Yeah.
that. So I don't do 10% for the church or anything like that. I just had different experiences in my life where I was so into the church and I saw how the whole organization was working that I was like, I got to a point where I'm like, um, I don't want to keep feeding that,
Yeah.
but I respect people who
100%.
do it because I think it comes back to the principle of giving, and I do
100%.
I do believe in that, and I do my best to give with my money and with my time for things that I believe in. I think at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much money you make if you're not able to give into something.
Yeah.
Like, what's
It's
the point?
pointless. It's
Yeah,
pointless.
what's the point? And I do agree that if you can take a portion and give it to a cause that you believe in,
Mhm.
and to me, it could be anything that works for the person.
Mhm.
That I agree with you. It's gonna come back to you
It's going to
because
come back.
you're gonna feel better. Connections are going to happen because of you being interested in this topic or that topic. So, and I love it when friends have that same way of thinking
Mhm.
because there's nothing worse than making money just to blow it on
Yeah.
things that don't matter. So,
100%. I think of life as like a flow. It's like a flow. It's going to come back around. People think that the law of giving, all you need just give, give, give. But in order to become really successful, you have to be able to receive. There's a law called receptivity. So you just can't give because if you're always worried about giving, like, oh, give, oh, and then somebody try to give you something, you're like, no, I don't need it. That's where you stop in the flow of life. That's where you have to be like, look, accept that gift because you're giving somebody else an opportunity to give. It's the flow. And so that's where I think that's where I go with the church because
mhm.
I don't care what the church do with it. I pray they do what they're supposed to do. And I know they're doing it. That's where faith come in. And so that's the way my mindset go. Like, okay, they're supposed to do. You're supposed to give to the kingdom. I give to the kingdom. And so as I give to the kingdom, and not only the kingdom, I give the different boxing organizations. I sow into my coaches. I sow into my members. I sow into my fighters. And eventually that circle will come back around. The flow of life. That's where I look at it. Just the flow.
Tell me how it works financially for the fighters. So from the outside, we see Mayweather making this many millions, and we see Conor McGregor doing all this money. How does it work for the average professional fighter in terms of money with the fights? How much do they get paid? How does that work?
You guys are looking at the end result. Boxing is a poor man's sport. If you're not an Olympian, if you're not a national champion, if you don't have a manager or somebody backing you, you won't make it in boxing until you fight your way to the top. Most boxers you see today work a full-time job or part-time job. Most boxers train part-time, work part-time. If you didn't make it to the Olympics, if you didn't make it, if you didn't become a national champion, you're not getting paid a big buck. You probably my first fight, $500 for 4 rounds. The most I made in boxing was probably $6,000. And I was 13-1-1. It was something I had to. So most fighters, you got to sell tickets to get your purse. if you can sell tickets, like if you sell to your friends and family, that's your pay. Some fighters don't get paid anything. Okay, here go 1,000 tickets, sell these, you get a percentage of this, that's your purse. Or you get this purse, and the more tickets you sell, that's how much you get. Until you work your way till you get 10-0, 11-0, or you fight your way and then you start getting paid. Then you gotta continue to win. And then on the downside about it is some guys take L's, take losses because sometimes if you're an opponent, you get paid more money as an opponent. So some guys have a losing record. They like paid opponents because they know they trying to build up another top prospect.
They take the loss to
Well, they don't take the loss. They'll try to fight their butt off, but they'll take somebody who's been a 10-time national champion or been an Olympian and take that fight, knowing they don't have it. Even if they do win, the judge is gonna pick the other guy because they got money behind that guy. And so some guys are just like, okay, sometimes the A side fighter, the champion, get paid. Not champion, I take it back. Sometimes when you're a champion, you get money, but sometimes the A side fighter, the guy they trying to build, they take less money, and the opponent got to take a lot more money because they know they're gonna. So no, somebody don't want to fight them because they're so good, so people don't want to take that risk. Get paid 10 times more than the A side guy in order just to take the fight, so they can build them up. So the boxing is I don't want to say a dirty game, but it's the wild wild west out there, man.
Yeah.
It's a game. You got to play it the right
You
way.
gotta learn how to play it.
You got to learn how to play it.
So if you are training with a boxer and he has promise, what would be the best thing for them to do in terms of the business side?
We gotta move him the right way. We gotta look at his opponents of the team like, okay, he's not ready for this fight. He's not ready for the fight. Okay, this guy got a nasty left hook. Okay, my guy's not good with hooks and shit, so we're gonna stay away from this guy. And we gotta move him the right way until it's time for him to step up. Step up for the big money fight. Just can't go in taking big fights or take fights that you're gonna lose or take an L because you want to build your record up till you get that money fight. Of course, some guys you could fight an undefeated guy, but you see something in an undefeated guy, be like, okay, he gassed out in this round. Oh, he's dropping his left hand. That look good on a record beating an undefeated guy. So we'll take that undefeated guy because he's lacking in this area. So then we can expose him. And so it's about choices. It's about picking the right opponent. It's about doing it right, signing with the right matchmaker, signing with the right promoter, getting a good matchmaker, somebody to put in a good favor for you in order so you can win. And you gotta do the work. So it's a lot of work behind the scenes.
How do you feel about the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight?
It was kind of sad, you get to see a legend go down. Of course it was a money grab. I love Mike Tyson, one of the greatest to ever do it, but he's 60 years old. He shouldn't be fighting a guy that big, that strong, that young. Father Time eventually gonna catch up with you.
Yeah.
You got a couple of millions. His kid's good for the rest of their life. It's not an issue.
Yeah.
But he shouldn't be in the ring with Jake Paul.
I really hope he was gonna knock out that kid.
Yeah.
I really wanted that to happen.
But a lot of people don't like Jake Paul. A lot of boxers did not like Jake Paul when he first did it. But I respect him now because he actually lived a life of a boxer. He's actually doing the work. He's actually in camp with real fighters. He actually training. He actually doing what he's supposed to do. And he put boxing on the map. He literally putting boxing back on the map because the kid's got a big fan base. And people want to see him win. So I respect it. If you do what you're supposed to do, if you're not playing boxing, I respect it. And it helped my business out. I got a lot of kids coming in here want to learn how to box. It's helped me out a lot. So I love you, Jake Paul. Thank you. I'm getting members all the time. I get little kids with blonde hair coming here like, I want to learn how to box. I'm like, yo, let's get this money. Let's go.
That's awesome.
Just joking.
So tell me a little bit about the gym and like what you guys do here. And if you could also tell me a little bit about that project that is coming with the book and everything that's behind that.
Yes, TMack Elite Training, we teach the true principles of boxing, the how and the why of boxing. We have everything you need in boxing. You have the intro to boxing for people who never boxed in their life. We got boxing for fitness, the people that want to learn how to just get in shape like a boxer, people that just want to learn how to be conditioned like a boxer and protect themselves like a boxer. We have amateur boxing for kids that want to, become an Olympian. We have professional boxing. I'm the head coach of the TCL, New Professional Boxing League. And I have professional fighters as well outside of TCL. We have masters boxers, guys who's 35 and up that just never boxed before but always wanted to compete. We have women boxing. We have women classes. So we have so many avenues we have in this boxing game that we teach. If you want to get in the best shape of boxing, this is where it's at. And so every Saturday morning, 8:30 a.m., we have an intro to boxing class, 30 minutes. We got hand wraps for you. We have boxing gloves for you. It's complimentary. You are more than welcome to come check us out. Don't worry about what level you are. We teach all levels. You could be someone who never boxed in their life. You could be an elite athlete. We got something for you. That's what TMack Elite Training is about.
I need to get back in training, man. I was doing Krav Maga for a good time with my friend Reginald, but I'm out of shape now. I need to get back.
Yeah, let's get some work, man. We should
Back
have got you. We gotta get you here one weekend, man. One Saturday morning, come in,
Okay,
come get some work. I got you. We're gonna have some fun, brother.
let's do it.
Let's do it now. I'm dead serious. Let's get some work. One Saturday morning, let's do it.
Do it. And I know you're working on the book that kind of has the full story.
Mhm.
So tell me about that project and how does it feel to have that like in your hands?
Man, it's one of my biggest goals. I remember writing on my goals back in 2014, 2015. I want to write a book. But this book is just not a book. This book is a inspiration. It's going to touch so many people. Name my book called Defeat to Destiny: A Fighter's True Story from Setback to Success. And it's about everything we spoke about today. It's about not giving up. It's about just walking through a brick wall with a smile on your face. Being willing to run through a brick wall to be successful. Not letting people put limitations on you. It's for athletes because, I was forced into retirement. I had to make transitions in life. I had to pivot into certain things. About athletes who don't know what's next. It's for kids who said that you have a learning disability. It's for kids who said that you can't learn, that you can't do this, you can't do that. It's for people who want to start a business, not knowing what to do or what's next, not knowing how to get started. I didn't have a blueprint. I just figured it out. I figured it out on the go, and I'm going on 10 years in business, successful business. And that's what this book is giving you step by step on how just to walk through hell with a smile on your face and how to continue to just put God first, continue to show up. And you're going to have setbacks. You're going to have setbacks. You're going to have moments when you fail. So basically, to sum it up, sorry, I could talk about this book all day. I apologize. To sum it up is everything I went through as a kid that led me to boxing. At the age of 20, I started boxing late, and I became very successful as a boxer, but I was forced into retirement early. Then it's about all the disciplines I learned in boxing, everything I had to go through. Had to persevere in the ring, had to be told no so many times, had to get injured and fight through pain. I had to persevere when I made it to the U.S. team. Like, I literally started boxing at 20. I made the U.S. team. I made the World Series of Boxing team. Turned professional at 27 years old. Ended up having a record of 13 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, and getting ranked top 15 in the nation, about to fight for a world title. I was lined up for a world title. Boom, my eye went. I was forced into detached running at 30 years old. And then at the age of 30, 31, I started a business. And now look, 10 years later, at the age of 40, I'm telling you guys about my business. So look how God works. It's like every 10 years of my life, I have to go through something. And I just hope and pray that God just bless me for another 30, 40 more summers so I continue to tell the story. That's what this book's about, man, about not giving up.
I love that phrase, being able to walk through hell with a smile on your face.
100%.
I
I think I made that up because I don't remember. I think I just came up with it.
yeah.
If I did hear it for somebody else, let me know.
I know. No, I want to steal it. I want to
No,
steal
I was like, I got you.
it. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
being on the show, for sharing your story, and mad respect for you, what
Thank you,
you're
brother.
doing. So I hope that we're all able to continue to see your story and continue to help people out there get stronger, get better, and like keep going.
Better every day. Shout out to my boy Jason for setting this up, saying better every day. That's the motto. Better every day. So every day you wake up, let's get better every day. Let's just get better. It's a new opportunity. Let's make it happen, man.